Hey guys, today our lesson is going to be on powers and exponents. So you need to have workbook page 21 out so that you can fill in the notes and examples with me as I go through this on that worksheet, page 21. Our learning target is I can write an expression using exponents and can evaluate exponents. Looking at the reteach side, powers and exponents, the product of repeated factors can be expressed as a power. You should have this vocab word written down. A power consists of a base and an exponent. The exponent tells how many times the base is used as a factor. So when I see the word base, I think big. So the base is going to be my big number. The exponent is going to be the small number written on the right-hand side to the top. Make sure that I can tell the difference in your base and your exponent. Okay? So looking at this first example, write each expression using exponents. So in example A, we have 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. So whatever number is repeating is going to be my base. So that's why they put 7. Right there is the base. And then I count how many times it repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why they gave the exponent of 4 there. Alright, so just like they said, the number 7 is a factor 4 times. So 7 is the base, 4 is the exponent. Alright, for B, we have it mixed up. We have y's and we have x's. Okay, so they started by writing out y. Okay, so I'm literally counting. I have 1, 2, 3 y's, so that would be y to the third. Alright, then I have some x's. I have 1, 2 x's, so that would be x squared. Now, they wrote it just like I did, but you could write it backwards. I could start with my x's and do x squared times y to the third. Be very careful. Make sure that you count carefully because they will mix them up on you. Alright, so let's look at some examples. Write each expression using exponents. Immediately looking at number 1, I see that I have 8's. So I know that my base is going to be an 8. Alright, then I'm counting how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 8's, so 8 to the 5th power is going to be my exponent, or my power rather. Alright, so if I look at 2, I see I've got A's repeating, so I know that my base is going to be an A. Trying to find my exponent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of them, so A to the 6th power. Alright, and then on number 3, let's see, we've got a base of 5. And we've got a base of 9. So I'm going to start with my 5's. Let's see, I'll highlight this orange. So 5's, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 5's, and then times. I've got some 9's. Alright, so calculating how many 9's I have. I've got 1, 2, 3 9's. So my exponent on my 9 is going to be a 3. Alright, let's look at the next part. Alright, the next part is to evaluate exponents. So to evaluate a power, perform the repeated multiplication to find the product. So basically, I'm going to take my base and write it however many times my exponent tells me. Then I'm going to multiply those and get my answer. So for instance, negative 6 to the 4th. Notice they wrote negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. When they multiplied negative 6 4 times, they got 1,296 for their answer. Alright, so let's work some of these out. Alright, we've got 2 to the 4th power, so that tells me I want to write down 2 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so when I multiply that, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Be very careful when you enter that in on a calculator. Alright, number 5, negative 3 to the 5th power tells me that I'm going to write out a negative 3 5 times. So negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. That's a lot of negative 3's. Now, a little hint. If your exponent, oh, that's not the one I wanted. If your exponent is odd, so in this case it's a 5, and your base is negative, that tells me that the answer is going to be negative. If my exponent is even, then that tells me that my exponent is going to be, my sign is going to be positive. Okay, so you can make yourself a note of that. If the exponent is even, then my answer is going to be positive. If the exponent is odd, then my answer is going to be negative. And that's only when I'm dealing with a base that is negative. Alright, so let's actually multiply this. Alright, I know it's going to be negative. Okay, so my answer I know is going to be negative because that 5 is odd. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 243. So my answer on that one, negative 243. Alright, number 6, I've got 3/4 to the third power. Now, I can separate this. I can say 3 to the third power over 4 to the third power. Alright, so calculating that, 3 to the third power would be 3 times 3 times 3. 4 to the third power would be 4 times 4 times 4. Alright, so working that out, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Alright, and then my denominator, 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. So 27 over 64. Alright, let's look at the last part. The last part's talking about algebra. Okay, the order of operations states that exponents are evaluated before multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So I'm going to solve an exponent first unless that addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division is in parentheses. Then I have to do that first. Okay, remember, order of operations is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Alright, so if you look, they have m squared plus parentheses, n minus m parentheses to the third. So they filled in, they told them that m was negative 3 and m was 2. They filled that in, worked it out, solved, and ended up with 134. You can go back and read through that example if you would like. Let's look at number 7. Evaluate each expression if a equals 5 and b equals negative 4. So I've got a squared plus b squared. Alright, so that tells me 5 squared plus negative 4 squared. Alright, working that out. 5 squared just means 5 times 5, so that's going to be 25. Alright, negative 4 squared, negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Alright, so adding that together, 25 plus 16 gives me 41. So my answer to number 7 would be 41. Alright, number 8 looks similar, but it's actually very different. A plus b quantity squared, so a is 5 plus b is negative 4. I want to square that. Now, I can't do negative 4 squared first. I've got to do what's in parentheses. So, 5 plus negative 4 gives me 1. Alright, and then I want to square it. So, 1 times 1 is just 1. So the answer to number 8 is actually just 1. And then number 9, we've got a plus b squared. So a was 5 plus b is negative 4, and then I want to square that. So nothing happens with my 5. I'm just going to bring it down. Negative 4, I'm going to square that. So negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Now I just have an addition problem. 5 plus 16 gives me 21. So my answer on that one is 21. Alright, exponential form. All that means is that I have a base with an exponent. Basically, I have a power. Okay? So, on your worksheet, when it asks you about exponential form, know that I'm looking for a base with an exponent. Expanded form means a power written out as multiplication. So, for instance, this would be 5 to the 4th power. In expanded form, it would be 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Alright, if it says evaluate, that means to work it all the way out. So just like we did on that last one, we would have done 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 and actually got our answer. So when you see that word evaluate, that means to work it all the way out. Do as much as you can. Alright, your assignment is to complete the back of this, page 22, complete all the problems, and then turn it into the tray.